Okie dokie, we are live. Hello everybody. A smidge behind schedule here. Haven't even got my gloves on yet. The room is not yet cool enough. But we'll just have to continue on. I've got things I haven't cleaned up behind me. Oh well, end of the week madness. Hello everybody. Thank you, Pro Engineer, for the 5. I wasn't expecting that to happen so quickly. Alright, let's see, I'm just going to quickly mark this and put it away. So is this 225, 03, 21, IP11. That just goes into a collection of screens that I've replaced, which funnily enough have not actually been that many lately. It's, I think the other store has pretty much taken everything off me. Just goes to show that whole loyalty thing is a load of BS. Hey Creature, Miles, Slime, hey Slime, Zueni, is that? No, I thought it was Leela for a second as your avatar, but it's not, it's something else. Alright, first thing I do is get an iPad back together. This is an iPad 10. It's a little bit of a mess. I just want to get it out of the way because it's kind of been hanging around for a day or two. We've got a nice puffy battery to deal with. So I have to get that one out, hopefully without blowing it up, and also it's got a nice, let's see, it doesn't show up there, there we go, nice bend there. Not much we can do about the bend. Right. Hey Tom, hey Brads, hey DJ Russie. Alright. I believe we have the even day of the year come now. Oh crikey, I just realised what I thought was the battery connector is actually not the battery connector. I thought this was the battery connector, but it's not. They've kept the traditional one down there. Yep, indeed. Oh well. Right, that makes things fun. What do we need? We need Phillips. I had to take one of these out of someone's iPhone the other day. They put super glue in there to try and get it out. It made it all the more entertaining trying to extract that thing. Super glue is, I understand the principle of what they were trying to do. They basically tried to like get a screw onto it with a dot of super glue and pull it out. And in theory that's fine. Unfortunately in practice it almost never works. Hey Serge. Is this pink? I guess maybe, possibly. Depends on your definition of pink. Now I'm trying to think the... Oh, wow. Guess what? I just realised, look, I've never done a battery in iPhone 10 before, and I just realised these suckers have got pull tabs. How nice. Crap. But if I pull on it too hard and fast, I'll snap it. Take it easy, Paul. Wow, how long do these things go for? This is magician's tape. I'm very happy for the pull tape, as long as it doesn't break. Sounds kind of space agey. Ooh, this one's getting jammed. Space Jam. Although I prefer to think of Spaceballs when they use strawberry jam. Lone Star. Ach, yeah man. Hey Bacon Manager. Welcome along. As long as you got your patience about you, yeah, the pull tabs are better. But sometimes you can not have your patience. I think what's also a problem is when you get third-party batteries. I'm kind of curious to see, yeah, I'm feeling this one does not have pull tabs on it. So it's probably going to be just straight adhesive, which is not going to be so crash hot. Yeah, hey Pedro, yeah, great when they don't snap. Exactly. Now we have to try and get this out. This is the part where Apple makes things more difficult than I like. I'm just sort of trying to judge to see what I'm dealing with underneath here. Hey, this hasn't actually... There's still quite a portion of a pull tab in there. It's kind of weird. You would have thought with all of the extraction that we had, it was all of it, but no. Okay, that's better. But it looks like this bar along here, that's also still stuck down. So, thanks Apple. It's like, oh yes, the battery cells are not stuck down, but we forgot to mention that the actual bar there is. Nice one. Nice. So very nice. Yeah, the bus bar. Yep. Alright, we got a little crazy there. Fortunately, it's IPA, so it's not a problem. And it's, you know, the 100% stuff, or 99.98. Hey, Jean-Marc. Zoltan. Hey, Mr. Diaton. Welcome. Okay, so we'll just go in it like this. And watch out, because there's a flex going across there. Last thing we need to do is ruin that. Like that. So close, Paul, so close. Right, and then you still have to lift the board up to, I'm going to guess, because it's going to be like all the other iPads, no doubt. It's annoying. So Apple sort of says, there you are, we made it nice and easy for you, pull tabs, but pay no attention to the bus bar. Thanks very much, jerks. Hey, Ed Boss, Martin, how did the Apple experts do it? Just the way I did it. I dare say they probably don't do it. They just throw it in the bin and say, you need a new iPad. Yeah, you gotta watch out for the booby traps. And it's not just Apple. I mean, Hewlett-Packard's terrible for it too. Most companies will have some kind of trap in their system. At times it feels like you're, what do you call it, Indiana Jones, trying to find your way to get your hands on that prize without getting killed. So it's a challenge between you and the prize as to who's going to become the prize. Anyway, this unit has been worked on before, and they have used a fairly moderate quantity of probably B7000, which is that sort of clear glue, and it's everywhere. It's going to make things a little bit tricky for me here. Hey, QBHS. At the Apple Store, if they break the tab, they have to send it off. Oh, yeah, okay. You know, that's almost funny, except it's a little bit too real. Yeah, the trouble with the B7000 is that unlike the original tape that would have been holding it down, it doesn't really come up cleanly. So we might have to work on this a little bit longer. It sort of fakes you into thinking you're going to be able to get it, pull it out, but it breaks pretty quick. And then we've got a bunch of MacBooks to do. And I want to try out my new feature addition or new feature improvement on FlexBoard with the open board data diagnostics area. So if you have used that section before, you'll know that every time you sort of finish a step, like when it says look for 3.3 volts on C8200 pin 2 or something like that, once you finish that step, you've got to go take your mouse, click over to the next step, etc. I've tried to make it now that what will happen is you can just press a key on the keyboard and it will jump to the next step for you. And additionally, it will also check all of the networks and parts that are in the diagnostic guide, and if there are any invalid ones, it just simply marks them as invalid and skips over them. I know it sounds like there shouldn't be, but you see what can happen is sometimes you will just copy paste diagnostic solutions from one board to another, and you don't even know that it's missing or that a particular network isn't there until you go through it. And then by the time you go through it, it's kind of like, I can't be bothered changing it. So it's just little small things that can make life a lot easier. Hey Shane stuff, you got your, like now, or just earlier this evening? Because I saw one coming earlier this evening. Let's see. What? Someone wants a ring light? I don't know about that. Hey ITC. Oh, I'll try to see if I can attack this glue with the IPA. Or at least get it cleared away enough that I can put the new screen digitizer in. I can hear a little bit of squealing down there, so it must be making some progress. Now, I don't know why people will use B7000 on these. I would have thought that Tessa tape would be ample. And it's not like B7000 holds better than Tessa tape in these circumstances anyway. Tell them $500. Slime's sitting there going, no! Oops, wait, no, I wasn't supposed to tell everyone. You can just wait for Harold to get him. I'll have a chat to you, Slime, in on Discord, okay? See what we can do for you. You should just get one of those really cool polarized ones that everybody talks about and thinks are brilliant. You know the sort I'm talking about. They only cost like 4 times as much as if you get them on AliExpress if you buy them from a particular distributor. You know who I'm talking about. Tom Morgan has an extra one. Yes, Tom does have an extra one. I think the shipping will probably cost more. I can't believe that, Tom. That was my fault too. Just that very subtle address change. But I gotta admit, I was kind of losing my head when you didn't get the second one. Thank goodness you had the forethought to go and check. Pedro, don't make us kick you out. We're a loving family here that hate each other. Just like loving families do. Okay, we're almost getting through the worst of it. This is what I find interesting when you go to the kiosks in the mall and they say, oh yeah, we can do your iPad in 30 minutes or even an hour. And it's like, how do you guys do a proper job on them in 30 minutes? I mean, I can understand if it's a clean sort of failure, but so many of these, I would say 80% of iPads require a certain degree of additional work on them. You're just cleaning up the muck, picking out pieces of broken glass, stuff like that. Yeah, just give them that little bit of extra care. Maybe that's my problem. I care too much. I guess for me, it's even if I take the customer part of the situation out of it, it's just the fact that people go, oh yeah, Paul Daniels did this, and if it's a really shonky job, they'll be like, yeah, Paul Daniels did that, and I'll be like, crap. Yeah, and you can bet your boots that if you do a good job 99.9% of the time, and that one time that you, for whatever reason, slip up and don't do the perfect job, that's going to be the one that someone looks at and says, so this is Paul Daniels' work. And I'm going to be like, damn you, universe. Hey, Cordos. I thought you were giving me cheek at the start there, calling me inappropriate names. I saw it. I mean, this is going to be a fight, as it is already, with that bend in it. But I'm kind of hoping I can sort of circumvent that. Zuini, but they're not really. That's the problem. Now, if they were genuinely creating more work for me, that would be great. But they're not. Because what happens is the people spend their money at these places, and then, so they, let's say they spend $150 to get it replaced. And then it doesn't work right. And so they come to me and I'm like, well, yeah, it's 150, 160. And they're like, $300 now, and it's still going to be broken with the chassis, and there's going to be these other problems I've got to deal with. You know what? We're just going to get a new one. That's more what happens than people bringing me stuff. Or worse, they do bring it to me, but then they're like, we spent all the money at the other place, so we don't actually have a lot of money anymore. So is there any way you can do it a bit cheaper? And you're screwed. And it's like, yeah. So yeah, is that the broken window fallacy? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Hey, Cypher Labs. And yeah. I mean, it'd be great if it did all work out and the jobs came back to me and the people still had money. But they don't. Very rarely. What is going on here? But I wish they did. Yeah, see, Hager, that's the other problem is, yeah, you get the ones and they come in and it's just like, it's going to cost me more than what you're willing to pay to get this back to where you want it to be, where it works. And then additionally, because you end up being the person who touches it last, if there are any further issues, it becomes your fault, and therefore you have to fix them. Even if they were actually caused by the prior technician, it becomes your fault. And that's the hurtful part. And it's like, it wasn't my fault. Yeah, I warned you to. I said this is probably going to be a bad idea, but nope. So I feel like it's one of those situations where you ultimately are going to lose. I wish it wasn't so, but it often is. Hey there, Charge Show. How's your BYDs going? Aha, gotcha. I got you now. Okay. But yeah, I've definitely noticed a drop in the number of jobs I'm getting here, and I am not surprised. There's a couple of factors. One is that position-wise, the other store is vastly superior. If there was a place to go in town, there's probably only two places I would go, and where they are is one of them. The other thing is that, now I don't know how this resonates with some people, but I've been so busy with my other work, particularly software development lately, that I'm kind of actually thankful for not getting the iPhone work interrupting me during the day. So in a way, I'm sort of, you could say that I'm kind of like projecting a field of like, I don't want to do that work right now. And so the universe is kind of like, okay, fine, we'll send it off to the other place. What's this smell? Someone got a 2332, broken screen, quoted 480. That's pretty cheap, really. Spent an hour complaining she only bought it for $1,000. What? Yeah. I guess that's that whole one-third policy, one-third rule of thumb, where whatever the device is worth, then you can basically get a repair done for up to 1/3 of that value before people start to really chuck a fit. Right. I gotta remember everything goes on this. And Mental Theo. Okay, we have bugs flying in. That's not good. Don't like it when bugs start coming into the room. The air conditioner's not kicking in. Very humid at the moment, and we've had rain. Right. There's a reason why we draw on the screen like that. Okay. That's because I don't like stuffing up later and installing something when the protected film is still on it. Okay, how are we going to go with this one? I think we'll take the bottom strip first. At least with the 10s, you don't have to do the home button transfer anymore, so it is nice. It's a little less work. It's kind of like with the iPhones, you know, you don't have to do the transfer of the home button anymore. In fact, the latest iPhones really are quite a lot easier to do replacements on. They're just a hell of a lot more expensive and quite a lot more sensitive to what you swap out with them. Oh, right, the koi fish, you were the one making the joke. You were Dutch, right? Is that correct? The Dutch person? It's okay, I didn't, I saw that was a joke. You're talking about the Australian sea cable being protected from being cut. which is a very real thing over there in the European area, with a overzealous cable cutting going on. Lots of people saying, "Oh, it was an accident." It's like, it's starting to happen a little too often. Okay, this screen is really messed up, but I'm actually not going to, other than hit it with the, what do you call it, hot air? Not hot air. Yeah, that was a good pull, hot air. That's a good job. Funny joke, ha ha ha. Other than the compressed air, we're not going to do anything with it. Okay, I wonder whether I could have done this a different orient. Mr. Daniels, order of operations is incorrect here. Please reverse and try again. This is the trouble when you're sort of getting started with these things again. You've got to get your order of operations sorted out. Like, I would not like to try and do an iPhone 4 or iPhone 4S anytime again soon. Hey, Graham. Did I hear... yeah, of course you did, Graham. Of course you did. Just like you did with that MacBook. How's your war with the people who know better than you, Graham? It's always entertaining watching all the comments in your stream, on your videos. It's not so bad, actually? Okay. Hey, Defpom. It just amuses me, the absolute ferocity of the comments that can come across. It's like as if you committed some mortal sin with some of the ways you do things. Hey, from Bulgaria. Northridge Virtue here. Cool. Haha. Yeah, I've picked up quite a decent number of subs from NRF's video, so I'll send him a Valentine's card or something next year. See if you can do another great expose for me. I mean, at the end of the day, he hasn't suffered either. I see his subs are doing perfectly well too. So I guess everybody won in the end. We can all laugh about it. Ha 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 ha. And give each other snide looks like, how dare you. I see he's been posting a few MacBook repairs lately too. I don't know whether that's coincidence or intentional. There are a whole bunch of screws missing from this perimeter assembly, and it was that way when I disassembled it. Hey, 10 minute, send me another EVGA 3090 covered in dry fluxite, Lewis. What? Did Lewis do that, really? Jeez. Lewis knows how to share the love. He's not afraid to. He goes a little further than I ever could. Defpom, it's okay. You just keep on with what you're doing, and I'm sure he'll pick on you eventually. So mine was completely unexpected, but like I said, I suspect it was because I was part of the Rossmann sphere. and I did very poorly with the extensive exposure that Rossmann gave me. My conversion rate of exposure to subs was just dreadful, unquestionably dreadful. And you know what? I agree. And I would be complaining more if it actually mattered for my situation. Oh, right, he's claiming that in his latest video. Damn, oh, crikey, dropping the screw on there. So we don't really know if it was Rossmann, or he's assuming it's Rossmann because it's all nasty. Or he's saying it's from Rossmann because it is covered in flux, and Rossmann's renowned for his, how shall we say, judicious use of flux. Yes, yeah. Because most of my viewers, yeah, I'm a live streamer mostly. That's right. You're always going to get a very low um, pickup rate from that. And I mean, I'm fine with that. I kind of do this as a bit of a nice, like, because I'm in a remote town and I don't have any workers that I work with or want to work with. That's a very key point, by the way. So don't come handing me your resume because I'll say nope. It's just nice to then catch up some people and try to pretend like I'm superior to everybody for a little bit. Sit you all down and yeah. So listen here, all you kids. This is how you do it in the real world. I find these eyeglasses cloths to be actually quite tolerable for this sort of thing. So long as you don't have anything on them, like if you've got flux or something like that on it, then obviously you're going to be in trouble. But they do a good job of not leaving residue, unlike microfiber cloths, I found, interestingly. Remote family, yeah, I suppose, I dislike you all enough to be considered family. I mean, that's the key element of family, isn't it? Disliking them so much that you wish you could get rid of them, but because they're family, you cannot. Okay, here we go. I'm really worried about this bend here. There's nothing much I can do about it. It's like I can't bend that metal back. So we'll fuse it and coerce the customer to put into a life-proof case. Yeah, Patrick, it's not dust. It's just muck. And I'm not going to try and wash it off. Oh, you're going to be shitting me. End of the road for that one. Well, I should have tested that before I closed it up. They're not going to want to repair that. Oh well, that's fun. Let me just screenshot this and send it to them. I was thinking I should test it, but I didn't. The issue with the studio lights is that they're too bright. There we go, that should do it. Let's see, screenshot, done. Oh well. I'm not too worried about that because it gave me an opportunity to try out the battery replacement, and I can likely take that battery back out. The digitizer is going to be fine. I didn't have any test I didn't have a test digitizer or a test battery for that matter for that model yet. So, and that model was going to be around for a while. So basically, yeah, who knows? Maybe the person will say, yeah, you know what, I'll get the display changed as well. But I have my doubts because that's probably another $160 on top of the cost of what's already been done. And they're probably going to go, no. Oh well. Let's clean this up and get to the next job. I'll just write that one up. Hey Jason, you sent anything else to me, buddy? I haven't seen anything else show up yet. Maybe I didn't come back to you with enough affirmation. Hey user. Yeah, Serge, they're not cheap. That one must have just got a little bit unlucky because I think the puff battery cell probably pushed it just that little bit too much, and then the crack. Oh, I would probably suggest to the person, look, just go get another one, machine. And if I'm lucky, if I'm really lucky, they will say, well, look, do you want that one? And I'll go, yeah, I will. And then I'll have a reference board and a reference screen, not a reference screen. I've got a broken screen, but I'll have a reference board and a few other things, so it's useful like that. So it's an opportunity to acquire some more equipment. Hey Sudi. Really? Yeah, well, my ISP, well, not really my ISP, the backhaul is actually back up and running properly. Okay, Macbook. Let's see, what do we got? We got a 3113 liquid damage. I think that's a no for tonight, I'm afraid, folks. Not doing that. 1707 flashing folder. Oh god, another one. What have we got now? 1990 space gray. Something's wrong with this. No, I can pass them. Okay, I've got one down here which I need to get done. I think this is a 2141. I'm sorry, I know you're all rolling your eyes, going, oh bloody 2141. We've watched this show 1,000 times. How many more 2141s are you going to do? Shut up, Pedro. I need this one to work. I need the money. Daddy's got to bring home the bacon one way or another. Honestly, Pedro, you're getting as bad as Moles with his PCH call-outs. Alright, 2141, as we know, do not power them up. Likewise, A1990s. Do not power them up without first taking a good look at the board, checking it out, making sure your NANDs aren't shorted. I know plenty of people power them up without problem, and then they go fix it and it's all good. But you never know, it might be just that one time that things are aligned the wrong way. You power it up and the person loses their data when it could have been recoverable. You know, with these machines, 1990 and 2141s, you know they're going to have this sort of fault, or at least very likely. Okay. Moderate amount of dust, but it is in the right. Oh yeah, I can see it piling up there. Okay, so first thing we do, disconnect the battery. It's an extra 3 minutes or whatever to take the lid off and test. Thank you, Pedro. Let's check our rails. 800's good. 150's good. 150's good. 520. Weird. Okay. Check over here. These are the usual ones. Are you going to beep? We do not have a beep. The NAND is okay on that one. Interesting. What about PP bus? Okay, we've got a PP bus. So being an A1990, this is going to be C9805, I think it is. Which one is it? who knows? Yes, I do check the 0.9 and the 1.8. You check them all, and the 3v3. Let's see. What are we dealing with today? We're 1700 today. Schematics. Okay, 1700 right down here. This is culprit. Wait. Oh, it's 2141, not. Okay. Alright, 2141. It could be a few things. Okay, I was thinking of a 1990 for a second, and I was going to say the cap that sits here is almost always the initial culprit. Okay, let's just get this board out. It could be a short on the other side under here, like the 1v8, 0v9, or the 3v3. So just get them out, have a look. And like I said, you can do all of this without powering the machine up. So it makes me cringe when I see people who should know better sometimes just go for the full power up. And it's like, okay, you get away with it, but it's a bit like Russian roulette. And you know what, maybe I am being pedantic, but I'm sure the people whose data hopefully I'm going to save are thankful for that. We're lucky here. This is a PP bus short, so there's a bit more of a chance of it being repairable. The risk is that it is actually an internal board short. However, I think that was like about a 1 ohm short, so it's probably a cap. Guess we're going to find out. See, Bleebob. I mean, if you want to play it risky, fine. Buy some pink sheets from, Belfort. But if you want to be a little more sure of doing things right, then yeah, do it this way. One way or another, the board's got to come out anyway, because the board, the chassis needs to be cleaned, because we've got dust accumulation. So even if the short was on the top side and we could get to it the top side, we do want to clean the underside, otherwise it's going to just come back in 3 months. Show your board selection and job tracking feature. I will certainly get to that, yes. Actually, you know what? You're right. I should do the job track. Okay, so schematics, job, create a new job. And this is 2473. Right. No power. Great. Funnily enough, it's not a new feature. It's been there for a very long time. I just don't really talk about it. Some people use it a lot, but I just never really get around to talking about it. and it stores it all in a little SQLite 3 database, and so you can actually use your own software to query that database and integrate it into your own ticketing software or whatever. I think I need to change the font size down a little bit. I'm kind of dealing with old man scale fonts here. Let's see. The nice thing is, once you have created a job like that, when you pull it back up out of the database through FlexBoard View, it will automatically load the board, obviously. Good reason to not change your boards around in terms of where they're stored, because otherwise it will go looking for that file and it won't find it. But the data will still be in the database. Okay, we're almost done. We've got the Wi-Fi connectors to do. Okay, I think they can come out now. Why don't I talk about... I guess... I don't know. Everybody's focus has mostly been on what the file formats are that it can use, things like that. And I think also because internally I've kind of felt like I needed to refine it a little more, and I have done that recently. Alright, dust galore. Let's brush it off. And I'll find out where my toothbrush is. Not too aggressively, just enough to get the loose dust off. Okay. Alright, so who wants to take a guess on where the short's going to be? Any takers? Believe me, it's a pretty open chance. Could be anywhere. Could be anything from the speaker amps to anywhere. Well, damn it! I just happened to. Yep, that's great. Yep. Well, I kind of ruined the suspense, didn't I? This is where I suck. It's like I don't even get any suspense build up. I'm just like, and let's have a look under the microscope. Oh, look, there it is. Problem found. Another job well done. Good job, Paul. Good job. Joey will be shaking his head at me right now. He'll be like, you suck. Yeah, there you go, Miles. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Joey knows how to drag it out. Now these tantalums are pretty robust, so I should be able to get it off without killing it. Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. Let's check out PV bus. Dun, dun, dun. Not this buffering crap again. Yeah, we no longer have a short, so that was it. Hey, Mr. Howell, welcome back. This is a recommendation for monitors. Fujitsu E22, what, 6 LED, what? Monitors. What do you mean by monitors? You look like PC screens or something else? Or some other kind of monitor? Oops. Let's get this cleaned up. Just gonna wait to see if the lag drops off. It should be coming back up. Come on, come on. We're stuck at about... We're stuck at 5 megabit. We should be running at 10. Oh, this sucks. Interestingly, OBS tends to be a common culprit here. Alright, it's... I'm still down at only 5 megabit though. It's terrible. I can't maintain 60, 1080 at this bit rate. See if we can fix things up. See how we go now. I'm probably made it worse. Oh, Sudi, that would have been a long time ago now. My monitors are good now. I've got a 4K screen. The thing is, with regards to 30 versus 60, it may be tolerable for you guys to watch at 30, but I want 60 because of the fact that when you're doing the board repairs and you want to use it as a archive of the work you've done, there are so many times where you need that higher frame rate to be able to capture small details as you're painting the board. The number of times that you will go past something that is important while you're painting the board is ridiculous. So being able to capture it while you're painting and capture in fairly clear detail is incredibly important. So that's why 60 is what I've got to run at. Hell, give me 120, I'll be even happier. There's no point really going 48. I mean, you try to stick with what are the most common standards. I mean, even 50 frames per second is a pain because almost everybody's sort of going for... I know 50 is for like the PAL type systems, But realistically, everybody wants on 60, so 60 is where it's at. Hey Tess, let's... Ach nee man. I don't want to squeeze out more flux, so I'm just going to drop it on like that. That causes more CPU and lag issues if I do that, Osis. It's better that I just go keep the pipeline as simple as possible. You just go 60 in, 60 out, rather than trying to mix it up. Okay, so what was that cap? Where was that? There was that one up here. It's this one. I just noticed my cap ends are round. They should not be round. They should be rectangles. Why are they not yeah, another thing for me to sort out. Glad I didn't ship it yet. Anyway, let's see. Search. Let's see, 10 microfarad, 25 volts, 603. Cool. Okay. Nice. Realistically, I could have left that off, but it's not in a difficult position, so I'm just going to pop it back on anyway. And of course it's even easier for the fact now that it's leaded solder. Hold on. Hey Teresa, welcome. Yes, necromancy, indeed. It's in a really annoying spot though. Yeah, try some Joey rubbing here. While it's still hot. Can't get into that corner though. But that's pretty good going. Let's have a look around, see if there's anything else that we need to deal with before we consider this a finished job. Yeah, they're a little bit touched up, but they're okay. Oh, there. That sort of crap. That's what you got to deal with. And that crap there. Yep. And... Ach nee man. Okay. That's the insulin core. So, before we can finish this job, we have probably... Yeah, that one can probably survive. Yeah, I think if they're washed, they're okay. That's going to have to be replaced. That's probably going to have to be replaced. That's a current sensor. We definitely want to make sure that's not misbehaving. That needs to be cleaned. That should be replaced because it could easily pop any day. And oh god, okay, that they need cleaning. Yay! So much for a quick job, eh? See, now this is the difference between some places and here. I actually go along and check to see what else might need doing, rather than, okay, it boots, ship it. I'm going to pink mark them, and then I'm going to go do the insulin, and then I'll be back. Pink, pink. I'm pretty sure they can be washed, those ones. The second machine is a stream. Well, this is basically a streaming machine. Yeah, it's got plenty of power. The problem is the upstream line that's causing me grief. There's plenty of streams where I do not have these issues, but around about this sort of time of night, we seem to have a bit of a cutover. Alright. I use 6337. I'll be back. Alright, we're back. Oh, 6337, the diameter I think I've got 15 thou. So it's pretty much the thinnest stuff you can get. Interestingly, I think they can get it down to 15 thou with the 3763 because it's slightly harder. So it can be drawn better. Sorry, maybe I should say slightly more ductile. Anyway. Alright, right, so let's get these cleanups underway. Like I said, I'm worried about, definitely that current regulator. That was in bad shape. So much so that I would be very concerned that this would not have reliably lasted long enough in order to complete a data recovery off this machine. So this is why it's important to check these things. Hey, solder bridge. Yeah, let's protect it. Just realigning my eyeballs. Right. So yeah, both that cap and the sensor have to come off. The resistor can stay there. Oh yeah. That's a little bit messy. So we're going to have to scratch back that lower pad, try and get some contact back there. So basically what that means is that pad had essentially disconnected. Now as far as I can tell, that capacitor is probably a high frequency noise reducer, like filter. So where are we? We're down here. And it's this capacitor here. Okay, no, in this case it's just a general purpose decoupling, but you know, it is important to have that so that stability of this current sensor is maintained. Yeah, so what is that? 100 nanofarad, 6.3201. Hey, let's try rep. Wait for it to come up. Come on, beep. Thank you. Perfect. Ach, yeah, man. Why is... How did that happen? There we go. That little resistor probably could do a bit of a touch up. Yeah, here we go. Brain forcing me now to have to do this. Good on your brain. No ultrasonicing for these ones, I'm afraid. Oh, it's tombstoning, hiding from me. There we go. So for the older MagSafe 2 type machines, ultrasonicing was rarely a problem, so long as you blew out the extra liquid and baked them for 20 minutes at about 120, they were fine. But these newer type machines do seem to have a little bit of a distaste for being ultrasonic cleaned. What the hell's a 24k resistor? Who comes up with that choice? Oh, 24k. That's not even sensible. Okay, I know they've got their reasons, but I can still whine about it. Hopefully one of my donors still have those parts, because it's a pretty common area to get hit. Okay, we've got the resistor there. That's a good start. So we'll take that one. Like, I keep most values on hand of resistors, but every now and then you do get these rather specific ones, and you find you have to go back to picking off from a donor board. Yeah, I'm not going to really reflow that completely. That's fine as it is. That one's just a 1%er, so it's not that critical. Actually, worse creature, far worse. Check this out. Schematics. It's a 5%. Who the hell puts a 5%? Come on, I mean, surely a 5% would be actually more expensive these days than a 1%. Especially for MF. Weird things that they do. Right, 100 nanofarad, 603, 201. That's right, we don't have the 6 volt 3, we have 10 volt instead, which is perfectly fine with this scenario. We're not upsetting anything by going 10 volt. don't normally actually like holding the parts on the end caps for this, but sometimes just getting things orientated is a little bit tricky. I feel like I need to fluff up those pads fractionally. Just fractionally. I was hoping I can do it with the micro pencil. Yep, that's good enough all around. Again, it doesn't really matter that they look a bit ugly, because once the reflow hits, they're all going to level out. Okay, let's see. Nothing on that one. Typical. And what do you know? Nothing on that one. Whee! Okay. That's okay. No big panic. There should be a second one. Oops. Okay, so what are we after? We're after one of these, which is INA 210, I think. Yeah. INA 210. Okay, so I can actually just control right click and it'll find it within the same schematic. So okay, it looks like there's one sitting down here. Interesting. Except there's not on that one. Aha, we have one. Okay, we got one. Yeah, with the schematic viewer, if you have a part name that you're looking for, you can just control right click on it and it will search for, it'll just search for that string throughout the same schematic or the same PDF file. It's kind of like a cheat shortcut instead of going through the part search functionality. Of course, it only works for the currently loaded schematic, it won't go through other schematics. Oh shit, I just realised. We've got to get our pin 1 orientation right here. Okay, top left for that one. Okay, so they are actually the same orientation in this case. That's good. That was almost a stuff up. I mean, I suppose you could work it out, but honestly, come to think of it, no, you wouldn't be able to work this out straight off because... Oh, there it is, next to the K. Still not the easiest thing to find on those. I don't know why they put the various markings elsewhere on the chip, like above that K and the N and under the J. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, which one's pin 1? It's like, you will never know, you'll have to guess. Alright, so that's sorted. Now this one here, I really don't want to have to replace it, but I feel like it's just too risky, that one, to leave it there. It just feels like it's a bad day away from cracking. Okay, fortunately, by holding on to it, and because the board is already warm, it does come up a little bit easier. Okay, and we have to put well, first we have to put some replacement solder down there. See if we can get the micro pencil to do it while it's warm. That's way too much, but we'll just drag it across like that. Still way too much, but we'll live. It'll just be a nice floaty. Okay. Those are the weird 20 microfarad ones. So yeah, 20 microfarad, 10 volt, 402. Very strange value. But of course, we can't get 20 microfarad ones, we can only get 22 microfarad in 10 volts. So we've got 10% extra. And oh crikey, I'm down to my last couple. Better order some more. Well, I probably do have a reel of them in here somewhere, I hope. Oh yeah, I got another 100 or so. It's all good. It's panicking there for a second. Okay, protect the NAND. Bring out the hot air. Orientate this appropriately. Yeah, it's not pretty, it does the job. And then I'm going to say these two probably need, definitely that one. Kind of half-hearted. We might see how that looks under flux. But these are the same. They're the same as that cap that we just replaced. And we've got the same issue. We need to protect the NAND. I'm going to grab the two middles. I'm probably going to lose that damn cap. I am burning my hand. Shit. Oops. Not a biggie. Well, we'll just consider that as an indication that we need to replace all of those. It's sort of kind of like a bit of rust on the inductor, but not really. It's just kind of like pitting. The important thing here is not to panic. If you panic, then it will make it so much worse. What you do is you just go, oh well, that is what it is, let's fix it up. Okay. So how many we got there? 5? 5. Yep. Small caps below the inductor are cactus. Yeah, they are. They're in a rotten ass spot too. They're kind of fuzz. Frickin' heck. Yeah, this is turning into a pain in my backside now. The job file on this is going to be big. I'm not going to try and get these damn things to be the correct. Did I play Sun City? I worked at Sun City for a bit. Let's see how we go with this. Try to reorientate it so I don't burn myself quite as badly this time. Yeah, I feel like that's a better orientation. I'm going to come in with a little less air though. It looks a bit funky because that one is upright, but they are actually on. Yes, all the caps are in parallel, so I could have actually just clustered them together. Crap. Okay, I've got to find out what the purpose of those two are. Yeah, you know what, creature? I think I might just eliminate them, because if we have a look, they are just bulk. They're just simply a magnitude decoupling, bulk magnitude decoupling. So, you know, they're going in at the, sort of got 95 off 5. Yeah, so 2 and 5, I think it is, yeah. So they're both 100 nanofarads. They're just simply there for very high frequency. Very tempting to not actually replace them, given that we are sort of more of a data stability situation. Basically, the reason why they put that many in parallel is so that you can get an overall bigger capacitance without having to rely on a bigger capacitor. Because if you're trying to fit these things in on the small form factor footprints, then yeah, I mean, okay, you could use these tantalums, but they have different sort of frequency responses to what the ceramics offer. So yeah, I'm kind of umming and erring about those two little puffy caps, because getting in there and sorting all those out could end up creating more dramas than what they're possibly not going to cause. It's a tough situation, and they are very well and truly thermally attached. Basically, I'm just trying to, yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah, chisel time or something. It's a bit risky around the NAND, that's the trouble. Probably going to have to hot air at least to help him. One's off. Two's off. There we go. Might be able to do something if we pre-warm it enough. Like I said, it's a little iffy. Let's see what we can do. Crap, what were they? I forgot. I know they're 100 nanofarad, but I forgot the voltage. Hey Joey, how's it going? We were singing some kind of praise about you earlier. I can't remember what. I think it was your ability to do something. Okay, 16 volt 201s. Now you're at 402s, 603s. Where are my 201s? The ability to wind people up. What was that your intent when you did that impressive feat the other day? Or was that an accident? Did you just have like a brain fart? I mean, I know I do. I don't know. I haven't watched your response video yet. I think it might have been with your bunny rub. Okay, they're down. And the nice thing is, no squeezage. Got to check the other side too, of course. It's easy enough to accidentally just like think you're doing alright on one side and forget that you've got the other side. Alright, let's clean this up. I was running at a very low air on that one. That wasn't the usual sort of 60% air, that was more like, oh, what am I, 20% air? That's why it took so long. Realistically, probably the better thing I should have done there is to change nozzle so that I could have a narrower attack. But, yeah, too lazy. Not lazy enough to not do the job, but too lazy to change the nozzle. Okay, you're going to have to use the toothbrush here just to try and dig out some of this stuff. And then we'll clean up the mess that the toothbrush makes using the Joey rub. Pretty happy with that. These ones I'm not too worried about. I think they just need a bit of a clean. Alright, this needs a bit more rubbing. Probably actually should have a bit of heat, but I'm obviously trying to avoid that if I can. Yeah, it's a bit of a tough call there. Let's warm it up a little. Needs the toothbrush to flick out the junk and then I can rub it down. It wasn't that hot, so yeah, because obviously you don't want to have a boiling hot board and then throw alcohol on it. It's a really nice way of shocking the board and ruining things. All your hard work just goes up in vapor. That's pretty good. Alrighty. It's taken longer than anticipated as usual because that's just the way it goes. I mean, like I said, we could have just walked away after that first cap and been fine, but we kind of want to set a better standard than that. We want to set something a little more reputable, we hope. Alright, let's plug it in and see how we go. And hopefully we get something that doesn't cycle on us, although I haven't got a battery on this one. So, okay, we've got our 20. Okay, we're booting. We've got our 1 amp, 2 amps. Come on. Okay, we're good. Yep. If it gets to around about that 20-second mark without doing a cycle, then you should be good. Not that there'd be much we could do if it didn't make it. Alright. I need to take this outside and give it a good wholesome blow. But I don't want to do that in here because, you know, stuff will get everywhere and then I'll choke on it. So I'll just take it, actually, probably a brush would be better, yeah. Ah, there's my brush. Proper brush. Almost done. We'll hit it with the compressed air for a little bit. We'll put the extractor on so that we don't suck in that dust. Looking good. Okay, let's get this thing back into its home. And hopefully we will be greeted with the chime of success. I keep thinking this is an A1990, but it's 2141. So which means I need some tape. Because putting 2141s back together without tape is an exercise in insanity. Okay, we're in. Okay. Hey, Nikatus. A MacBook fixer, Bunty. Where's the touch ribbon on this model? You mean for the touch bar? That's down here. If you mean trackpad, that's there. Number of times I forget to put the screen connector back on. It's because it rests rather naturally just above the connector, and you just simply forget to push it down to connect it. Then you plug everything in and try to boot, and you get nothing on the screen, and you're like, what have I done? I've killed it. And then you realize, oh wait, no, just forgot to press down the connector. I remember the first time I did something like that, and that was with my great big XT PC. I disassembled it for some reason and cleaned it or whatever, and put it all back together, reached to the back on the case, and if you used to have one of these machines, you'll know what I mean. You got to reach for that big big lever that powers on the machine. That makes a great big clack noise, that clack. And usually, within a second or two, you hear the hard drive spin up. And I did not hear that, and I didn't hear any beeps, and there were no lights on the front. And this is a $1,700 computer from the 1980s that your parents had to take out a freaking loan for just so that you could have this marvel of technology, and you've just gone and effed it up. And then you realize you forgot to plug the power cord in. So yeah, heart-stopping moments created by your own oversight. Fun stuff. No, in this case it wasn't the 62180, thankfully. It was a bunch of other caps though. It was on the PP bus, this one. And so we found the main one, but then there were like 6 or 7 others that were no good, so we changed those as well. Almost forgot my rule before powering up. Although wait, you already did power up, you idiot. Oh well. Looks like tonight I need to be finishing up a bit earlier because I broke my rule, whereas I normally will check the resistances of all my various rails before I power these back up. And I did not do that. So that's bad on my behalf. Don't be like me. We've got an Apple logo. So on a MacBook Pro 1286 TPS 51980 gives me 3v3S5 0.78. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why you would get such a low value. I mean, it's not terribly low. It's obviously not shorted, but it's certainly not putting out the right voltage. So you've probably got either a feedback issue, or the supply is not good, or the TPS is no good. Yeah. Anyway, that's booted, so this person's going to be happy. Hallelujah, we didn't completely ruin everything tonight. So this gets the green tick of approval. And that is it for me tonight. So I need to go and do some more work on Flexboard View. I've got to find out why I have got round pads instead of rectangular ones. There'll be something dumb that I've done, which entirely normal, isn't it? Okay, we just noticed our current dropped back to 5. What's going on there? Okay, I don't like that. Why is that dropped back to 5? This better be a fully charged battery. Pull the cord. It's a fully charged battery. Yep. The highs and lows. The highs and lows. Woo! Anyway, I'll just go schematics here. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I'll show the sequence thing that I was talking about. So we have the nights and solutions. My God, I really just need to go to sleep. Notes and solutions. And previously, as you go through here, yeah, you click and you go to the next one. It becomes a bit of a nuisance jumping through and so on and so forth. But what I've done now is once you start on it, you can then just hit a key and it goes to the next one, and then the next one. And as you can see, it's going down this list, and anything that isn't found on the board, it just skips over it. So next one, into vermin, yeah, and so on and so forth. And it focuses on finding the test point of the network as preference, and so on and so forth. And you just keep going. So this is for finding PM sleep S4L if it's missing, and then that's it. So, and of course, yeah, we've got this last one. If all else fails, remove 8111. But so that gives you an idea of what we can do now. It makes it easier when you're just trying to keep your head down and test all these things. You don't have to keep moving your mouse up here and changing around. So yeah, that's just another refinement. The feature already existed, as in the testing stuff, but just trying to make it that bit easier for people to use always, hopefully, goes a long way. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Glad we actually had success tonight. I needed that, especially for a Friday evening. Thanks again. I'll see you on the next one, whenever that may be. Until then, you all take care, and I'll catch you later.